Welcome to the Secret Sauce of Selling podcast, the ultimate guide and sales gym to unlocking the secrets of successful selling. I'm your host, James Abraham, and I'm super excited to be here with you today with Novacy to empower the best generation of sales professionals and business leaders the world has ever seen. I'm super excited to be here with you today with Avishai. Avishai, welcome to the show.
Thank you, James. I'm excited as well.
So Avishai Sam Bitton, that's right? That's the full name.
It is. They force you to take a middle name in the U.S., so I got attached with a Sam.
You're lucky. I got a D. I got Daniel. So and I like Sam. So we were just speaking, kind of just getting to know each other, and you've done some tremendous stuff. I mean, you have a really great resume. You've been very gutsy throughout your career. Why don't you give the audience a really quick kind of breakdown of who you are and what you do? By the way, our topic today is referrals, which is super hot and super important, and we'll jump into that in a sec. But why don't you go ahead and give the audience a quick introduction?
Yes, I've been in tech 13 years. I've started two different businesses. The first one I started got eventually sold to LinkedIn. The second one I started was one of the biggest publishing media companies in the world. And I kind of transitioned into angel investing on top of all the work I do. And I've done over 140 different angel investments. So very focused on the startup world, very immersed in the world of technology, looking for ways to kind of push the envelope for myself and for the companies that I work with.
That's awesome. Well, first of all, congratulations on your success. I got to ask you, which one of your ventures that kind of made you feel the most challenged?
Oh, I definitely think the latest kind of journey I've been doing at 8Fig. 8Fig is a company that I led as the VP Marketing and Growth, plus being an angel investor in the company. So a company that I think has tremendous potential and a lot of scale. And I brought people with me from my former company, from Brainy, the second company I built. And I think the challenge here was tremendous because there was so much technology and product involved, and you can't just do go to market in a bubble. You have to work in kind of a way of give and take with other departments that have their needs. And there's a whole sales process that happens here that is completely pushed by technology. So that was extremely challenging, right? A lot of times it's easier when you have a whole sales team to just pick up leads. Here, there are no leads. There are just right away opportunities and then clients. So that was extremely challenging with, at least to my knowledge, there's not any fintech company in 8Fig specific space that knows how to do this kind of low touch, scalable go-to-market.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you work with a lot of startups and entrepreneurs. So you're very involved. You've invested in a ton of different startups as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I think it all has to do with me enjoying working with founders. Like, I would not go into this line for the returns. I don't recommend this as an investment almost to anyone. There are a few things that, are kind of just not a good financial decision to do in life, and angel investing is one of them. And I think that what I was looking for is to be inspired and to kind of have that founder group around me that will inspire me to do better work in my own work. And I really do get inspired by a lot of these startup founders. And some of them already raised B rounds when I invested somewhere at the seed stage. Some of them have already pivoted the company and recapitalized a lot of the cap table. So there was a lot of different scenarios that already kind of panned out over the years. And each one of them has lessons that you can kind of see from the sidelines. And then it helps me navigate my startup journey, regardless of what I'm kind of involved in.
That's awesome. So you're involved with these startups, you're involved with the founders, and then as an entrepreneur, you grow as well. I love it. So our topic today is referrals, one of my favorite topics. Why don't you tell us what we're talking about?
So one of the things that I kind of understood very late in the game is that referrals can be scalable. in the past, I thought that referrals was like kind of a one-to-one game, and each time that you wanted to get more clients, you would have to talk with one client, and then they would maybe potentially refer. But in the world where we're working with like these products and dashboards and email communication, SMS, and there's so many ways to touch someone through push notification of an app, you can actually get referrals at scale if you create a methodology of how to approach your existing clients, how to identify who are the clients who are going to refer. In the past, in the old days, you had to actually get on a call with someone to ask them, hey, do you like the product or service that we're offering you so far? Are you happy with us? Would you stay with us? Oh, and then would you refer us? In today's world, where some of companies have 10,000 users or a million users, you can't get on a call with everyone and ask them directly. So there are different ways today to approach people and try to get them to refer, because I don't know any company that doesn't want a K factor above one. But if you are building a lean and mean startup in today's environment, 2024, where you can't afford all the headcount in the world, and you have to build scalable operations, and you have to do a go-to-market that is going to be low on headcount, high on impact, then you have to learn how to do referrals at scale, and that requires product mindset combined with that kind of sales mindset, and sometimes a little bit of marketing or marketing technology dust to kind of wrap it all together in something that you can do one to many in the world of referrals, which is not an easy code to crack.
Yeah, I love the social coefficiency plus one. And if you think about it, I think not only in user-led growth or sales-led growth, I think in any type of company, if you think about it, if you have a customer and that customer brings one customer, and that, I mean, just the growth off that is amazing. And I also believe that referrals is a mindset. You know, a lot of companies don't feel okay asking for referrals, and I think it really starts from the early days when you begin sort of asking for those referrals, then clearly automating that process and so on. But a lot of companies and business owners, business leaders, founders, also sales professionals, they feel not okay asking for referrals. It makes them feel needy. And on the contrary, at the end of the day, it's like, is there anyone you know and care about that would benefit from a conversation or benefit from a product that could solve a specific pain that you know about, and it can make it very frustrating. I'll mention one stat I know, and we talk a lot about this stuff. 20% of people will never, ever, ever give you a referral, ever. 60% will give you a referral if you ask, and 20% will give you a referral if you don't. And if you think about those numbers, I mean, everyone out there, you guys are selling or doing business, I'm sure you know people that are happy to connect you with others, and there are others who just won't happen. So why don't we break this down with regards to the methodology that you're wrapping your head around when it comes to this stuff that you find is super important, because at the end of the day, it's all process and methodology.
Yeah, so I want to divide a bit the world of referrals to B2C and B2B, even though I think it's all B2C, right? You're all B2 human. But in the world of B2B, there are sometimes many stakeholders that you can talk to inside that same org that is using your product and service. You can actually amplify the referral power. So a lot of times in the B2B world, where there were multiple stakeholders buying the product, it's easy to forget that there's also multiple stakeholders that can refer the product. And what happens is when the refer request comes, it only comes to one point of contact. And I think that's a huge missed opportunity in most of the B2B startups that I kind of encounter. They're only asking the main POC to do the referral instead of going back to all the stakeholders who are not necessarily getting on the calls day to day, week to week, month to month, and asking them, hey, are you happy with how this turned out for you? Are you getting what you were looking for in the org? Great. Maybe you can refer other people who are also not going to be the main POC of using our product, but they can champion it to whoever is the main decision maker. And that way you can get sometimes 4 or 5 different people kind of playing that trumpet and referring you out there. In B2C, it's all about how easy you're making the user experience for people to do an invite or to show people and showcase what they're doing with a platform or product. I have a B2C startup in my portfolio, which amazing investors and amazing founders, very smart people. Avishai, who's the CEO of Wix, and Micha, who's the CEO of Fiverr. Like the smartest minds of B2C are involved there, or B2SMB. And the K factor of the product is amazing because they create like kind of a high impact value and right away ask for the referral. A lot of times B2C thinks that you have to wait a long time to ask for the referral to make sure that somebody's really immersing themselves in the product for a certain time. But asking for a referral is much more of a user behavior that you have to identify, and it can happen a minute after someone onboarded. If you can identify that they got value, you should right away try to push to them some kind of referral mechanism, because this is the moment where they feel most comfortable saying, oh, this is really cool, I should show this to other people. So that's why I kind of divide this, but in the end, this is one way to approach humans, and this is another way to approach humans. And one of them is more kind of, one to many in a style of one-to-one, and another one is kind of, how can my sales mindset translate into a product push?
Yeah, I love that. Working with entrepreneurs over the years, and I'm going to give a quick story. I had a client, a startup, and they needed to make some cold calls to start building it up, start to get that thing going. What are you going to do? No one knows who you are, and so and the owner who says, he's going to be part, says, James, I got to pick up the phone and I need to cold call at the beginning. I need to talk to them, and he's like, he's cold calling and saying, James, I'm getting no's. Everyone's saying no to me. I said, well, did you ask for a referral? He said, what do you mean? So well, when someone says no to you, when you said to them, well, now it's over, can I ask you a question? I don't suppose, if I can't help you, maybe you can help me. This is on cold call, right? I don't suppose there's anyone you know and care about that's got an open mindset, that's struggling with pain, that would be willing to have a conversation. And he says, it didn't occur to me. I said, why? He says, well, because they just said no. I said, so what? Give it a shot. First call he made. First dial he made, he got to know, and he's like, look at it. He said, did talk track. I don't suppose there's anyone you don't care about. Benefit of conversation. As a matter of fact, yeah, there is. Really, who? My brother-in-law. He's struggling with pain. We had dinner the other night. He mentioned it, and he gave him a referral. That became a massive account. Okay, and that account gave him 3 other referrals, which then in turn gave him each one gave him 3 other referrals, and he grew his referral tree, all from just being gutsy and getting rid of that head trash. So I love what you're saying. It really is a mindset thing.
And I think there's another thing beyond just kind of like asking for the referral for the product or service you're doing. A lot of times people want to just bring in someone because they have a great experience with whatever they're doing with you, and they want other people they care to have that great experience.
Yeah.
And it's not, I think, the pain, what you were talking about, is important, but a lot of times when I do a referral to a certain company or a person, a lot of times I just look really great. And it has, even if the pain, whoever has the pain is maybe a small pain, or maybe they don't even have the pain, a lot of times they're like, I didn't use them in the end, or I did use them in the end, even though I didn't really need to at a high level. But these are really great guys to know. And I feel that if you sometimes detach yourself just from what you're actually building or doing, and you look at the kind of feeling that you give people, right? People think that in B2B, for example, feelings are not something that's involved. But if I change to you like a very specific feature on Salesforce, and I change for you a very specific feature on WhatsApp, I might affect your life more if I change a specific feature on Salesforce. So there's this emotional aspect that I don't think people give enough attention to when it comes to doing referrals, even if we're talking about software companies or, kind of enterprise services.
I was listening to a podcast with Yuval Noah Harari. Everyone knows him. He was talking about AI, and he talked about attention and all this fight for attention. And he said, there's all this. Everyone's trying to get attention, where it really is about intimacy, and gaining intimacy over scale is difficult. And I think that's really, to your point, it's really having more intimate discussions and having that human connection, especially in this day and age where everything's just so technology and so AI everywhere and so on and so on. It is really helping people. And I think that one of the beautiful things about referrals and building your network or your net worth is really about intimacy and of course, discovery, helping your, anyone. It could be a client, it could be a prospect, it could be a friend, it could be anyone, actually discover through that. And that's a great experience for people. So I think it's really spot on with regards to how you're positioning it. So tell me a little bit more about, how you see the future of referrals, and is there any way you've cracked? I mean, I got a ton of talk tracks and human interaction stuff that I like to play with, but it sounds like you're kind of onto something with this. Tell me more.
So there's something that I've been kind of cooking, and I've been trying to think about this also like under the 8-fig hat, because I'm in charge of partnerships, and partnerships is all about referrals, right? That is literally the business, the affiliate business, right? And I've been also looking at my portfolio companies. I'm like, wait, can I actually turn my best clients into kind of verified referral partners, where they're not just giving a referral, they're getting tools to do a better referral. So they're not just name dropping you, they're actually teaching other people how to use your product or service.
So being an ambassador.
Yeah, so an ambassador is probably, what we would call an official referral partner, right? But can you also do this at scale without giving people the title of the ambassador? Can anybody maybe have access to a portal where they, in addition to the referral link, the classic one that affiliates use, can you actually open to them a world of discovery? Maybe they will learn new things about the product and service, and on the way will actually advocate for features or functions that they don't even use, because now they're educated enough to understand a bigger picture. And I think that as we're going towards this world where startups have to be much more lean, they don't have the ability to raise capital to just explode on headcount. I think a lot of different companies will turn the referral kind of mechanism into what I would call a plug and play white label, or a plug and play influencer kind of go to market, where people can kind of opt in to be more than just somebody grabbing a link or saying that, yeah, sure, I'll drop your name somewhere. You'll actually give people the tools not only to learn about what they're referring more, but also to distribute it. I think there's going to be a lot more tools that if already somebody says, yeah, sure, I'll refer to you, great, here's a great way to refer. And I'll give you just one small example of this. I agreed to refer one of my startups, and they came back to me and said, great, here's a tool where every company that is interested in us can go on a Zoom call with you, the referrer, and they can just that's connected to your account. They can just grab a time and they can get on a call with you. They don't intro to me anybody anymore. That's for an example of a technology that they put me now as a refer on scale. That could be the way businesses do things in the future, rather than getting on the call and asking for me time after time. Can you talk to this person? Can you talk to that person? I know it's a bit more of a reference, but they're basically connecting me with people that already have some form of connection with me. So it's kind of switching around the roles, like, oh, you trust this person, right? He's willing to get on a call and refer you to us. Go ask him. So it's kind of changing the order of how things are being done. So people can go into a sales process where they have much more trust, even if I wasn't actively pushing the snowball of the referral. So I'm becoming this kind of passive, then active player, rather the other way around.
So what you're saying is you want to create an environment where the referrals and the introductions and references are coming in from a more natural flow. Is that what you're saying?
Automated. The word we're looking for is automated.
Automated. Okay, I like that.
If I agree to be a referral to you and your
you're
service,
asking for permission. No, I like it.
if I agree to that, and I'm saying, sure, I'm willing to refer anybody you'd want me to refer, and you can come back to me and say, look, this is a list of people that are actually connected with you on LinkedIn and
I love it. Yeah.
Can we invite them to talk to you about our product. And some of them, just the whole go-to-market is around getting on a call with me before they get on a call with a salesperson.
Yep.
Which is a longer funnel to create, but it's kind of taking the reference referral thing and kind of spinning it off on its head. I don't even have to look for people to refer to. There are people who are already in my network who now come to me because they're interested in the solution.
Yeah. Well, there is something that we train at Sandler. We have a methodology when it comes to referral. I'd say referral asking, if you may. And it's always ask for permission to have the conversation first. Don't go in there pegging someone to the wall saying, listen, who do you know, blah, 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 because it just makes people not okay. And the way the human brain works, if the human brain isn't conditioned to be prepared of what's going to happen, it's going to always push back because it's like fight, flight, and freeze. And so we have a basic talk track, which is, Dave, I don't suppose you would be open with, to having a quick conversation about something that's super important to me. And he'll like, oh yeah, what's it about? Well, I was hoping to ask you if you'd feel comfortable talking about, maybe making some introductions. We could go both ways. Would you feel comfortable having that conversation with me? And then they'll say, yeah, yes or no. If they say no, say, well, no harm, no foul. Our relationship's more important than any referral ever. It's fine, forget about it. Or if it's a yes, then, let's talk a little bit about who do we know that we could refer to each other, and just makes everything so much more gentle and natural and fluid. And you know what? It even makes it kind of automated down the line, because at some point they'll just say, there's someone I got to introduce you to, because we've taken away the pressure. And I think that is the key. It's the pressure of being put on the spot, the pressure of being something expected. So I love the idea of automating it and taking that psychology and building something around it so that people feel more comfortable just going with the flow.
And the last thing I'd add is that refers until very recently, especially in like kind of 20 years ago software, before the MRR, ARR kind of era, was all about, can you bring me a new client, right? And that was the focus of doing a referral. But today, some companies are being very smart about this, and I'm seeing this. I'm seeing Adam Robinson doing this with RB2B, and I don't know if it's still running, but basically giving you carry month over month. So you enjoy the upside. If you can keep just whispering in the ear of someone, yeah, are you happy with the product? Yeah, oh, I'll show you how to use it. So somebody doesn't churn. And then the referral also gets to kind of share the success. They feel a bit of like, oh, I like these guys. And they're also giving me a chance to be a partner of theirs, to actually see revenue from whoever I'm referring. And this is, I think, a better model than just, here's a one-time fee for sending us someone. Thank you very much. You kind of get the upside of, oh, these guys are not churning a lot because, they unofficially asked me for help or guidance on how to implement this. Or we're continue to communicate on how great this is and all the new features coming out. And, oh, you should see my build, and I'll show you this guy's build. And by not having people churn from a product or service, whoever was the original referral, they see actual LTV from a referral. And I think that in the future, there will be people who will basically retire off just doing very high quality referrals of this sort. And I think that when it comes to B2B, B2E, software that cost a lot, it's very hard to kind of sell this stuff as an affiliate, but as somebody who is like in the business, working in it, has a role in a company, using a product or service to be a referral partner, you actually can create much more of scale and impact because the people trust you. A lot of affiliates sell stuff that they have no relation to and have never worked on.
Yeah. I mean, there are some industries that are quite rigged for the affiliate concept and the referral, but I'd say there's a lot of industries that are just not involved in that at all. Which industries do you see, would start to develop off this concept?
I like to think that everything related to software with services is going to be a strong place to work on referrals, right? Because if you think about really where referrals all started, it started with services. In the past, we didn't used to have software. This is like, before computer day sales, a referral would come as offline as it gets. Maybe a phone call would be as most technology would be involved. And those were services businesses. And today, when I see software services, I'll give you just an example of a company that I think a lot of people will refer to, a company called Final Loop, who does accounting services and on top of it software, or a company like Sample Lead, which does kind of outbound automated outreach for inbound led outbound, but they have actual humans helping you implement this in the early days. So there's a lot of human interaction for something that is basically a SaaS company. That human
Yeah.
interaction is what gives people the comfort to refer, because if you work in front of a platform and the platform never shows you anybody, like there's no customer success, there's no human
People buy
interaction.
from people. There's a
There,
trust
there,
people.
there is software today out there that you'll never meet anybody behind it.
Yeah.
Why would you refer to something unless it's the best product in the world? Probably not. There's nobody there to have the emotional connection, and that kind of level of happiness. That, yeah, I would love to refer to you. Insert name of account manager, customer success manager, salesperson here, because not only did I like your product, I like you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. At the end of the day, the human emotional interaction is key. And I mean, even today, I think I've had like 3 referral conversations. Like someone called me up, James, you know anyone who does blah blah blah? I'm like, yeah, here's Dave's number, and so this is it is so true. And so real. So this is fascinating stuff. Avishai, I'd like to ask you a little bit about what you do on your spare time. What do you like to do? When you're not investing in companies and looking for the next great thing. What do you do for fun?
Well, I wish I could tell you that I do a lot of things for kind of like recreational fun, classical, but I really, most of my time is like trying to tinker with stuff and build stuff and to do things that don't scale. That's kind of like, some people like to play with Legos. I like to try to create automated newsletters. I like to try to create all kinds of questionnaire funnels. I tinker around with these things because I really enjoy it. It is kind of my Lego. When there is a music event or a sporting event that I can go to, I will go. But there's nothing that drives me with more joy than just kind of building something and then seeing it work and then later taking it to my work life, which it's hard to call it my work life. It is my life. I'm very
You love what you do.
fortunate to love so much of what I do
Yeah.
that I very rarely feel that I'm working.
That's awesome. I love it. And is there anything you're listening to or reading recently that you kind of feel is super kind of, it's fun and would you like to share?
Yeah, so I like to listen to a lot of different podcasts around different topics. And I think that one of the podcasts that I can recommend that keeps, keeps things fresh is My First Million. It got me also to choose to join the Hampton Founders Group, which it was a great decision I made because it just filled my life with more different entrepreneurs from all kinds of shapes and sizes in different industries with different situations. And I think that if you are kind of looking for a podcast and if you've never listened into it, like find 4 or 5 episodes, give it a chance, if you're not an entrepreneur, I think it's really exciting and it might spark the entrepreneurial dream that is kind of sitting inside, I think, each and every one of us.
I love it. Excellent. Well, thanks very much. This has been fascinating. I think that we're definitely going to book another one because there's so much we can talk about, so many different topics. And thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and your vision and the way you see the world. And I just feel so inspired. There's so much opportunity out there after this conversation. So I look forward to having you back on the show.
I'd love to, James. Thanks a lot for having me.
And thanks to Novacy for sponsoring, and to the listeners and viewers, guys. Just ask for referral. It's all out there. Just build your network. Your network is your net worth. And
refer this podcast to people.
We will refer. Yep, refer it to people. Refer the podcast, and start to connect. And that human connection is stronger than any technology ever will be. So I wish you all the best, good selling, and make sure that whatever you do, you're doing it for the right reasons. See you next time.